Have you ever been right in the middle of a massive document analysis, only to get slapped with that obnoxious token limit reached error? This usually hits exactly 3 seconds after you drag a massive legal filing or a 100-page data report straight into Claude or ChatGPT. It forces a frustrating question. Are these models actually underpowered, or are we suffocating them with an inherently flawed file format? There is a practical alternative. You can pre-process that document into a clean Markdown file, a simple .md extension, before you ever hit upload. Understanding how format impacts processing is the first step toward reclaiming your context window and getting more comprehensive answers out of a single prompt. A PDF is built for physical printing and human eyeballs. It locks in layout, fonts, and margins perfectly, but machines do not read like we do. When you hand an AI a PDF, it doesn't see crisp pages. It gets hit with an unstructured block of text stitched together by chaotic, hidden layout code. Every single page number, legal disclaimer, and repeated header gets digested by the model as critical information. All that hidden metadata artificially inflates your prompt. It competes for limited space and pushes the actual data right out of the context window. Uploading raw PDFs forces the model to burn its limited memory sorting out formatting trash, which leaves barely any capacity for the actual analysis you asked it to do. Tokens are the currency of AI. They dictate exactly how much processing power and context memory a model can allocate to your prompt. Every piece of structural noise in a PDF spends that finite currency on absolute garbage. This chart shows total tokens consumed in both formats. In a PDF, 10 to 40% of your token budget is devoured by structural waste. Markdown strips this away, leaving pure text mapped with minimal structure tags. Diluting the AI's context window with thousands of useless tokens makes the model lose the thread. That is exactly when you get generic answers or outright hallucinations. You face a direct trade-off. Dragging and dropping a file saves you 1 minute up front, but it actively cripples the AI's cognitive capacity for the rest of the session. Optimizing your inputs isn't about shaving pennies off an API bill. It is about maximizing the sheer intelligence the model applies to your specific problem. The absolute worst-case scenario for any language model is a scanned PDF. A scan isn't a document, it is a photograph of text. To read it, the AI activates internal optical character recognition to scan character by character, converting those pixels back into words. Forcing an LLM to perform internal OCR is brutally inefficient. It triggers massive computational costs and severe time delays before the actual analysis even begins. Running that file through a local Markdown converter beforehand completely bypasses the struggle. The OCR happens on your machine, not on the AI's meter. Offloading basic preparation tasks to specialized tools frees up the language model to do the only thing you actually need it for: reasoning and analysis. Efficiency is one thing, but the real challenge is maintaining structural precision across hundreds of pages. Direct PDF extraction is messy. Columns write out of sequence, sentences break in half, and margins are totally ignored. To process a long document, AI uses a method called chunking, slicing the text into coherent blocks of meaning so it can digest the information. Markdown uses explicit tagging, like hash symbols for headers. This ensures the text is sliced into neat, logical blocks. With these boundaries, the model builds a semantic hierarchy, navigating a massive 600-page legal brief without getting lost. This precision is especially critical for the most fragile data structures you will handle: nested tables and spreadsheets. Feeding a complex table straight from a PDF will frequently scramble the rows and columns, turning vital financial or legal data into useless noise. Markdown handles this by translating tables into strict, predictable text grids that the AI parses flawlessly. The trade-off is friction. You must use an external tool, like Microsoft's Markdown, to generate these clean grids, requiring a slight workflow adjustment. But for complex data, that adjustment is non-negotiable. Markdown is the only reliable barrier preventing the AI from turning a precise spreadsheet into chaotic word salad. But let's look at the practical reality. Not every single file requires this level of structural hygiene. There is a perfect use case for a direct PDF upload. If you have a natively digital, simple document, like a 3-page contract exported straight from Word, the AI will read it just fine. If you are just doing a single quick query on a clean document and moving on, the friction of converting to Markdown absolutely outweighs the benefits. Forcing a complex conversion workflow onto a trivial task is a mistake. True efficiency means matching the time you spend prepping the tool to the actual difficulty of the job. However, there are specific scenarios where converting to Markdown elevates from a helpful tip to an absolute professional mandate. If dissecting massive legal filings, executing repetitive data analysis, or building office RAG systems, you need clean data. The minutes you spend formatting that file are paid back in full the moment the AI delivers its very first flawless, hallucination-free response. This chart shows the exact decision matrix you should follow. Assess your document. For simple, one-off tasks, upload the PDF. For complex, voluminous tasks, take the time to convert it to Markdown. Ultimately, the language model doesn't control the quality of the analysis. You do, by controlling the quality of the input you feed it. Master this single trade-off between prep time and processing power. It is the dividing line between fighting with your AI and actually collaborating with it.